Thermal mass is definitely something that's worth thinking about in the design of homes in Alaska. Thermal mass is a measure of how much heat an object can store and then release. For the range of building products we use in our houses, there's a spectrum of how much thermal mass they have. So the insulation we typically put in the walls and the studs, and it doesn't have a whole lot of thermal mass. What does have a lot of thermal mass are things like concrete and logs. If we build a house entirely out of logs, that will have a substantially higher thermal mass than if we built the house out of dimensional lumber or stick frame. You'll get the most out of thermal mass in your house if you can touch it. So if it's exposed in terms of a concrete floor, or if it's a log wall, it's directly in contact with the air in your house, and it can even have the sun shine directly on it. That's where you get the most benefit in terms of stabilizing interior temperatures and also enabling the potential for passive solar gain to be best realized. We can think of thermal mass as a bit analogous to going upstairs. If you don't have anything you need to carry, if it's just yourself going up the stairs, it's pretty easy to do. But if you're carrying a big heavy box of books or something like that up the stairs, you're going to go a little slower, it's going to take longer because you have to move that mass with you. In our houses, it takes longer to heat up that mass versus if we have a house with just a little bit of thermal mass, it can heat up very quickly. So having a lot of thermal mass, using things like concrete floors, log walls, and so on, can help reduce the amount of overheating that happens. Thermal mass has been shown to be a very effective tool in certain climates, such as in the high desert areas of New Mexico and Arizona, where it can get very warm during the day and very cool at night, and that happens for a substantial part of the year. Alaska being a cold climate, there's not much benefit to having thermal mass in the envelope just by itself. It can help a little bit in terms of stabilizing interior temperatures, but where you can get some real benefit from it is if you incorporate it as part of a passive solar design of your house. During the day, this is our opportunity to catch that heat, and so as we let it in and it slowly heats up the floor, at night the thermal mass of the concrete floor will be slow to cool off, and so it'll help keep the room at a nice warm temperature, and that'll offset some of the heat that the heating system would otherwise need to provide. It's not going to trump things like R value or air tightness of the home or how it's heated, how efficient the heating appliance is. If you design your house with passive solar in mind, thermal mass is one of these tools you can use to help.